Morning everyone, just popping in briefly to remind you all that you need to pre-bake your pastry. I've just marked mine with a fork before it goes in the oven. I've chilled this for half an hour. It's going to go into 180 degrees oven for 10 minutes and then you pull it out and then lower your oven to 160, fan assisted, and we will then be back at 10 o'clock to bake live. So don't forget, get this baked and then I'll see you later. We're going to cream the butter and the caster sugar. So we'll put that in.
I got this.
Yes, I'm just going to put the first bit in and then you can take over. Okay. Now, right, Alex, you can take over from there.
Okie dokie.
So gently on slow speed first. Obviously I've turned the mixer around so it's the other way today. Try and lift it and let's show everyone the consistency. So you just want it mixed so it's pale yellow, nice and golden, and then we put it back on and we are then going to add in, now we add in the flour and the almonds. Okay, and we're going to add the the desiccated coconut. And while I'm going to mix, while Alex is mixing that, you need to add the baking powder. Okay, and then first of all, just crack the eggs.
Huh?
You need to put the eggs in as well.
Oh God!
You want me to do that?
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
I will do the eggs, and Alex is going to do this. So get the tin.
Yeah.
So you need 6 tablespoons of jam, and we are going to spread the jam on the pastry. So come here, this side. So you want 6 of these on there, and then using a knife, I've got a palette knife, but he's going to use this to spread down. If you move up here, then they can see you. Okay, and I will then crack the eggs. So I've got all the dried ingredients in with the butter and the sugar.
My beautiful
And now I'm going to start adding the eggs. So I always crack my eggs on the table countertop. I learned this tip from Jacques Pepin. And I always crack them into a separate bowl, preferably a dark colour, so if you do have any shells that go into the bowl, you can see them really quickly. Okay, so 1 egg in. I'm just going to mix that together a little bit, and then add the rest of the eggs. Okay. Yes. I mean, obviously if you're doing this on your own, you can spread the jam on beforehand and then go to the sponge.
I think you're not going to have any jam.
That's all right, I've got mine covered. But you just need to make sure that your pastry has cooled a little bit after you baked it. And I will run through this all again at the end, just to recap. Don't worry if you feel you've missed anything. Okay, so eggs are in. Let's just move all of this out of the way. Obviously, if you get any egg on your hand, wash your hands in between. Okay, I think that's enough, Alex. Okay, so we're going to spread it. Right, okay, I'm just going to check this. I think it needs a stir. You know, it's always good to scrape down the beater just to get everything mixed in properly.
Is this pop pastry gluten?
Now, it's not going to look as smooth as a cake batter would normally, because don't forget you've got desiccated coconut in there. So if it looks a bit lumpy, it's okay. If you want it smooth, then that's when you whiz up the coconut with the sugar beforehand. So I'm going to put it back in, give it a quick blast. And by then, Alex should be done.
I call them
Okay.
jam.
So just scrape everything off your mixing beater. And Alex, you need to double time. Get it all to the edges.
Oh.
Okay. Right. How you doing? Try and just get your Try and get your jam evenly, evenly spread.
I think it is.
It is clean.
Okay.
Okay, and then on top of that, what we're going to do is pour the batter. Okay.
Oh, I thought that puff pastry was for me to make.
No. There is something, I've got a little extra to take place in between while it's baking, so we've got something to do. So then you spread this out on top of your pastry. Yeah. Okay, and then what we're going to do, yeah, it will, don't worry about it being too flat because it will spread out as it bakes. Right, can you put that by the sink, please? Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to put your raspberries on top. I don't know if you can see me. Okay, there. So it's up to you how you put them on. Just put them out. I mean, you can just scatter them on. I'm placing them because I'm a bit OCD sometimes when it comes to these things. But if you want to scatter them and chuck them in, just do that. Right, let's be a bit more free-handed. Okay. Then, cold. Of course they're cold, they've been frozen. And then we're going to scatter. Please don't do that noise with Alex. But then we're going to put the coconut on top. No, you can have that. Just make sure you wash your hands. So just liberally sprinkle the coconut all over. It just adds texture and some extra flavour. Okay, and I'm going to, but you don't have to. We can then add some almonds as well, grounded almonds on top for extra crunch. Again, this is optional. My grounded almonds are very fine because I use them for macarons, but even if they're chopped nuts, and if you can't get coconut, you can always swap that out for finely ground, or you can whiz up some pistachios or some almonds, just to give it a little bit of texture. Right. So this is going in the oven. I've got the oven on for 160 degrees. Open up please, Alex, because my hand's dirty. Open the oven. No, the side one's on. We'll get there. Okay. In the middle shelf, right, I'll just wash my hands, and you need to put the timer on. Let's start with 15 minutes. So very hot, but this is where we're at. So it's finished. Your kitchen should be smelling lovely and raspberry. But so a way to test if your cake is done is if you stick your skewer in, it should come back out nice and clean. Another way is to, if you press your sponge, I don't know if you can see from there, if you press your sponge, it should come back. It shouldn't just leave a dent in there. But that's all done now, so I'm going to let it sit in the pan or in the tin for a few minutes just to relax. And I noticed when you pull it out of the oven, it did sort of kind of relax a bit. You'll notice it. Don't worry about that, that's absolutely fine. A bit like a souffle that's just gone, ugh, but it's okay. So leave it to sit for a little bit, and once it's cool, take it out of the tray and let it cool on a rack until it's easy to handle, and then cut it up. Don't cut it up until it's cooled properly. Hopefully you've enjoyed that, and let me know if you need any help with any points along the way, and I will see you soon. Ciao!